Hello, dear all. Welcome to our session today. I will kindly ask you to open your cameras so Cajetan can speak to people and not black screens. And we are a team together in order to meet each other. So I would like to introduce you Cajetan for those who don't know him, but I'm sure you know him all. He's very famous Toastmaster. Cajetan is a certified trainer, public speaker, behavioral assessor, and a passionate Toastmaster. He joined Toastmasters in 2017, and in a short period of time, he has completed all the old educational paths. And of course, he has the club sponsor, club mentor, 5 paths for the Pathways education system. And now he is pursuing his 6th path. He served as club president, VP education, area director, division director for District 20, which is Kuwait and Bahrain. Cajetan achieved Distinguished Toastmaster status in June 2020, and during the year 2018-2019, he was awarded the prestigious District Toastmaster of the Year. He has a very nice YouTube channel. I propose you to visit it. He has a lot of useful videos for all of us and for our work. I will share the link during his session. And of course, he manages a WhatsApp group for Toastmaster branding issues with more than 1,000 members. So, dear all, let's welcome DTM Cajetan Barretto.
Thank you, Elena, for inviting me to your district. I'm very happy because some of you who are into branding, and because today it will be all about branding. I will demonstrate some of these aspects using a design tool like Canva, but it is primarily talk about branding. And the reason why I was so enthusiastic to do this workshop is because we just had an update to our brand manual. Are you all aware about the new update? Raise your hands if you are. All right, Magdalena, can you tell me one new thing that has been introduced in the new brand manual?
Good evening,
Something
everyone.
new.
Hi, good evening. It's Magdalena speaking. So I actually, if it wasn't for the channel where you are so active, Cajetan, I wouldn't actually know about the brand update. And from what I have understand, that there are some additional tips when it comes to color shades, which will really, really help me.
All right. Anybody else wants to chime in? Something new in the update that was issued, I think, last month?
We have we can use new fonts for special events.
Yeah. For special events.
And we have some creatives for special events, which is really nice for the clubs, let's say.
Yes, interesting. Great. So one of the things that I will be focusing today, talking about being a brand champion, is to stay within the brand, to create content that adheres to the values of Toastmasters. I won't be addressing too many questions, or I wouldn't say addressing questions, but I wouldn't be moving into the area of, can I use this? Can I use the photos of, let's say, cityscapes? Can I use photos of food? Because if you ask me that question, the answer is probably 99%. No, you cannot. But I didn't say 100% because there are certain exceptions, but I'm not the authority on those exceptions. So whenever you want to create something, you want to use the branding elements, but you want to stray a bit away from that, and you believe it is for a good cause, then generally the idea is you talk to the brand team, and they are quite responsive, by the way, in Toastmasters. If you send them your design and say, hey, this is what I have created and this is the reason why I have created it, is it okay? They may say yes, which is great, or they may say no, and then you can do that that you don't use that particular design, but maybe make a change. Or you can just go ahead and publish it and you won't get into jail. That's all. It's not going to happen like that. You can see plenty of designs that clearly violate the branding guidelines, and some of them are even posted in the Toastmasters official Facebook page. But whether this person who created it did it deliberately or because he was not aware of the brand guidelines, that's a different discussion. So in today's topic, I'm talking more about really having a discussion with you about why branding, how we can be creative with what is provided to us. Because the most common complaint that I get when it comes to branding is, I'm so restricted. I'm so restricted with the number of colors. I'm feeling so restricted with the number of fonts. Why can't I do this? But at the same time, I have seen some brilliant designs within those limitations. So let's talk about that and why we should do it, why we should stay within the branding guidelines. So let me pull up my presentation, a short one. To be a brand champion. So as mentioned by Elena, I am a Toastmaster. I'm also a certified trainer. I am a passionate photographer. I love scuba diving, and these are all of my passions. But since the COVID happened, I have invested a lot of my time and resources creating content for Toastmasters on my channel, Tech for Toastmasters, which, by the way, is about to reach a milestone of 10,000 subscribers. So that has been quite an interesting journey for me. And most of it, by the way, had to do with branding. It all started when I started creating workshops for Canva during the COVID, and hundreds of people used to join to learn Canva. And then I went into many other aspects, but Canva branding is still my first love in Toastmasters. So I'm going to talk about some branding. What are the Toastmaster brand elements that we need to deal with? Some of the branding resources we can use to create our content. I'll demonstrate most of these aspects in Canva and talk about Canva and Canva Pro. And if you all have any questions, feel free to ask them now during the session. Raise your hands. Because we are a small group, we can really have an interactive and learning experience today. I don't want to be a teacher today. I want to be a trainer. And the difference is a teacher will keep on saying, you should do this, you should not do this. But in a training session, it is more about sharing knowledge among us. Because some of you all probably are better designers than me and probably are better brand experts than me. I don't know, but we can always share and exchange information. So branding, of course, is the promotion of a particular product or company by means of advertising and distinctive design. So we are talking about things that when we look at something, we instantly recognize it. And that's why branding is very important for us in Toastmasters to stay within those color schemes, to stay within those images, to stay within those fonts, because anybody who looks at a design, a poster on social media or on newspapers, they should know, okay, that thing looks like something to do with public speaking. That looks like something where I can go and build my leadership skills. So that distinctive design is what we should all strive for, whether we are in Europe or me in Kuwait or any other country in the world. When you see it, that's Toastmasters, that's branding. I'm sure most of you all know what this is, right? I mean, I don't have to tell you, when you pass by, when you're driving and you see this tall arches, the distinctive yellow color, you know that when you go there, you can get a certain type of burger, whether you like it or not, that's your personal preference, but you know that it will be consistent, whether you're in US, whether you're in Japan, you will get that same size, same burger, and possibly, most likely, a clean washroom. That's their brand. You go there, you eat burgers, you take a rest, and you know when you see this sign. What about this one? When you see this sign, what comes to your mind? Nikes, shoes, running, sports, right? Just do it. So that is the brand created by them. They have invested millions in it. And this one, it's not an image, but it's a phrase where leaders are made. Ideally, anybody who looks at it should associate it with Toastmasters. We are not as popular as Nikes or McDonald's, but the idea is by consistent PR activities, everyone should know when they see where leaders are made, oh, that's Toastmasters, without looking at anything else. So when we are creating anything to promote Toastmasters, keep in mind that when we create content, when we are talking about meetings or announcing our meetings, announcing special events, the target audience, we should always be aware of who are we trying to address. And generally, our message should be targeted to non-Toastmasters, not to existing Toastmasters, which means when we create content, we should stick to this elements. That is, have a logo so you can quickly associate which organization you are referring to. You should have certain colors that people associate with this organization. You should have certain fonts that people instantly recognize the message that this organization is trying to convey to them, and certain types of imagery that is associated with this brand. And in Toastmasters, that imagery is always about people who are looking confident, who are standing in front of people, delivering speeches, demonstrating leadership skills. Those are the type of images that should be on your design, because if you're a non-Toastmaster and let's say your club is celebrating Thanksgiving, which is, I guess, coming up, and you decide to put a big turkey as because it's Thanksgiving, you want to look festive, people will associate your club as something that is a restaurant, not something that they are coming to improve their communication skills. So even though you might be celebrating Thanksgiving, the messaging for your people, for your non-Toastmasters, should be, what will they get out of it if they come for this meeting? Maybe turkey, that's fine. But at the end of the day, they are interested to come because they want to improve their communication skills. I found this very interesting infographic. Just 2 hours ago, I was going through my Facebook page, and a friend of mine who is into graphic design, he posted this about different brands, different types of industries using different kinds of colors. So for example, communication. Companies that are into communication predominantly use blue. Interesting. I thought it was interesting, not because of Toastmasters, but just to give an idea of how colors are associated in the industry, in different types of industries. So for apparel, for example, black is the preferred color. Airlines prefer blue. So if you think about it, Toastmasters uses the blue, not exactly this blue, right? Our brand color is loyal blue, right? Which is slightly darker than that. We do use reddish, which is maroon. So we are in that kind of domain. I just wanted to share this interesting infographic with you. I thought you might find it interesting. We also use, by the way, gray. And what is my very helpful? I lost it. Anyway, so having understood all of this, that when we create content, it should be about logos, it should be about colors, fonts, and images. These are the 4 elements. I want to sort of have an interaction with you of how we can place all of this into a design. And to do that, I will share my screen. Okay. And I'm going to use Canva as my platform for today's demonstration. By the way, Canva is just one of the, I would say, a popular tool, especially in Toastmasters. And the reason is because it's free. But if you think about free, I have here with me both versions, the free version and the pro version. The problem with the free version is if you are designing something in Toastmasters, it will keep bothering you every few minutes to try and their Canva Pro. And that costs, I think, around $12 a month. But if you continue to use the free version, you can generally design Toastmaster content. The only difference is that a lot of the things you will find when you start designing things and you want to use some special items, you will find this pro. That means if you want to use these elements, then you have to upgrade to a pro account. So it becomes quite, I would say, a tedious task to work with the free version because you don't have access to many of the premium elements of Canva. One simple example is, I want to change the background here of this design to, let's say, Loyal Blue, which is 004165. Then what happens is, or if I want to use, for example, the yellow, I want to create a list of colors of Toastmasters. And if I want to define the happy yellow color here, it will say, please upgrade. So it keeps bothering you. It's not that you can't use it, but it has its limitations. So what to do in such cases? You can, of course, try to upgrade to the pro account. And once you go to the pro account, things become completely different. You have, first of all, the recently introduced what we call Magic Studio. And the Magic Studio allows you to use a lot of AI tools in your design. For example, I found something very interesting that I had even made a video about it called Brand Voice. So anytime you want to type something, some content, you can type it in your own words, but then tell Canva, can you convert whatever I have typed into a content that has the brand voice of Toastmasters? And it does it, by the way. I will give you a demonstration of that. But it does require you to use the pro account of Canva. I do have pro account. I got it about a couple of years ago because of this option called Canva for Nonprofit. So many Toastmasters have managed to get the pro version by applying for Canva for nonprofits. And if you want to do it, you can fill in this form. If you are, let's say, the VPPR, or if you are, let's say, area director or division director, you can submit your application, and sometimes you get it and sometimes they reject it, but there's no harm in trying it. I would like to know in this meeting, anybody here uses Canva Pro? All right, so Elena has, Joseph has, and is this from Canva for nonprofit, or is it that you are paying from your pocket a lot of money? Oh, that must hurt, right? Yeah, okay. In fact, because of this dilemma that many people try, they don't get this Canva for nonprofit, even though we want to use it for our clubs. I don't know what is their rationale behind approving or rejecting. I have absolutely no idea. I know I just have it for the last 4 years. I'm enjoying it, but I realize a lot of people struggle with the Canva free version. In fact, day after tomorrow, I have a very interesting session where I'm trying to show people how to use Microsoft PowerPoint to create content. And because most of us have PowerPoint already on our laptops, because maybe from work, we have it as part of a package, right? When you, a work laptop will have Microsoft Office by default. So you have it already. Or even if you are paying the $99 per year for the entire Microsoft Office, which a family plan, so a lot of people can use it. Or even they have a version called Office365.com, a web version, which is free. So if you were to, if you don't want to pay, but you are, let's say, not using Canva as much, you could consider using maybe PowerPoint, and that workshop is on Sunday. I'm going to, it's called Mastering PowerPoint for Toastmaster Branding. So these are the challenges we face when we want to create content and we want to use services, and they either want to charge us something or they'll give us a limited version of their software, and then they'll keep bothering you. Why don't you upgrade? Why don't you pay us $10 a month to make use of all these wonderful features? For my demonstration today, I will focus on Canva Pro, because when we talk about branding, I want to explain to you how we can assemble things very quickly using Canva and the features that are available in the Pro version. Let me share my screen again. So right now I'm in my Pro account. And the first thing I want to demonstrate to you is about the brand kit. So Canva has a very comprehensive brand kit. So on the left-hand side, if you have the Pro account, you will find that if you click on brand, you can create multiple brand kits. So if you are a designer in an organization using Canva Pro, and let's say you create content for different companies. So every company's branding guidelines can be kept in one place. So it's very easy to create content for this company or that company. In my case, I have only one use for this Canva, which is to create content for Toastmasters. So I have this kit called Toastmasters Brand Kit. And what it allows you to do in Canva is to have a section. I'll show you all the sections that are available in the brand kit. Some of them are not applicable to Toastmasters, but essentially any organization at the most, when they define their brand, would define what their logo is. So you can define all the logos that are available in Toastmasters, which is, I have even put the Gavel Club's logos here, all the Pathways logos, and the main Toastmaster logos. Logos with tagline, logos with the year since 1924. You can't see it here because it's in white color, but this one is in blue, this one is in black. So there are different versions of these logos. So you can keep them all in one place for easy access when you're creating your content. Similarly, if you are talking about colors, you can define all the colors that you will use. So we know that we have the main brand palette, which is the blue, maroon, silver, happy yellow, black, and white. So this is my primary colors. And then we have this palette, which is about with gradients. When we want to create gradients, we have this additional colors in the brand manual of Toastmasters. And so that's about colors, easy access. Similarly, fonts, you can define all the fonts that will be used in your content. And the interesting thing is, of course, you can upload fonts also. So you notice that I have uploaded this new font, luxurious script, which was mentioned by Elena that we have new fonts available. And I think this one is Corinthia. These are the two fonts that were released by Toastmasters recently. So they look like this. Then we have something called brand voice. And this brand voice I have picked up from the Toastmasters brand manual. That is, our brand voice is of confidence, compassion. It is clear and respectful. It is friendly yet professional. It is positive, upbeat, enthusiastic. It is serious when necessary, and it is open for exchange. In fact, they have changed this brand voice slightly in the new brand manual. Let's look at it, by the way. So I just mentioned to you that Toastmasters has updated their brand manual. And so if I click on Toastmasters website and click on resources and go down here under the brand portal, it has been completely redesigned. First of all, we don't have the PDF file. And by the way, I missed that PDF file of mine. Everything is now online. So if you click on brand manual, you'll find that the entire manual now opens up as a web page, not as a PDF file as it used to be before. So you don't have all those colorful images and backgrounds, that picture of that lady, screaming in joy. That's gone. It's now just content. So here the voice I was talking about, they have made it a little more structured now. It should be, if I were to take this, the international friendly is a new word used. So if I copy this brand voice and put it in my brand kit here, because I'll show you the difference between the previous one and this. So now it is more structured. Before it was a sentence, but now it has become warm, clear, friendly, professional, succinct, respectful, universally understood, and internationally friendly. So because we are a global organization, they have changed the brand voice a little bit. I can save this for reference. And if you have a brand voice defined, by the way, there is something very interesting, as I was telling you, that you can do in Canva. I'll show you how it works later on. Then you can also download and keep all the photos in one place, the library of photos that you are going to use. So what I had done is I had gone to the Toastmaster website, downloaded all their images and kept them here for reference. So I don't have to go and search every time on the Toastmaster website. And graphics and icons are not allowed in Toastmasters, but some organizations do. So I have kept it empty. So this is how we can use the Canva Pro. I'm not trying to sell you, by the way. I don't get any commission for sell if you subscribe to the Pro version of Canva, but it does help a lot when you're creating content. Right, so I have defined the brand kit here by uploading all and the other thing I wanted to show you is that if you were to go to the brand kit and you look at, let's say, the fonts, which is here, you can add new fonts. You see here, plus add new, and you can upload any font which is not possible with the free version. So if you were to go to any website and say, I want to download a font, you can download that font and then upload it in Canva. And this is what I had done for this luxurious script and this Corinthia font that has just been released by Toastmasters. Clear? Any questions at this stage before I demonstrate some more things? What do you think about this brand kit and how it can help you to make your, Helen, go ahead.
I had a question about your pictures. Do you only take pictures from the TMI website, or also do you choose from other areas, like from, I don't remember the names right now, but anyway, that has people that are confident or staying in front of a audience or whatever? Do you use other pictures as well than are only on the TMI website?
Okay, so my personal preference is actually not to use any of these pictures. That's my personal preference. What I do is I am a photographer. So, and we meet in person. So I have a great opportunity to take pictures of our members. So I take pictures of them speaking. I take pictures of them as a group photos. And those are the pictures I primarily use for all my PR content because I believe it connects better to my local audience. If I, in Kuwait, for example, show a picture of Americans confidently speaking, maybe it will not connect to my local culture. But taking pictures of my club, my people, immediately it connects. So all of the content that we, by the way, I don't do too much, I outsource it to other club members, but the whole idea is if you can get those kind of pictures, that's your first choice. Second, of course, is all of those pictures that you saw. And third, yes, you can use any picture as long as they are licensed properly. So if you have, for example, Canva Pro, and I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I was thinking about Unsplash or what's the other ones called? Also?
Pexels, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there are many.
And some are free and some you have to pay for.
Correct. So if you were to, for example, create a design, let me just quickly open up a design. As long as you source the pictures properly, and you could even go for, let's say, images from professional organizations where they charge you a lot of money, but even within the Canva, you have, first of all, photos. And these are photos provided by Canva. And you can search for, let's say, meeting, right? And you'll find plenty of photos, and you can just click on it. Can I use this photo? Absolutely, because it has all of the elements of engaging and networking. Can I use this photo? Yes, I can. So this is from, if you have a pro account, because you can see that this image is marked as pro. So as long as you're subscribed to the pro, you can use all of this. But in addition to that, they have also, if you go down at the bottom somewhere, you'll find something called apps here. And there are a couple of apps that I think provided. There was Pexels somewhere here. There are too many now. Let me search for Pexels. Yeah. Yeah, so Pexels is one of the company that provides millions of images, and they are integrated inside Canva. So if I click on this, now I can search for within Pexels and search for, let's say, networking. Not, I hope that doesn't give, yeah. So networking, it mixes up with computer networking and no. But if I was to bring in a picture like this, possibly I can use it. But you have to be a bit careful about how you use these images to reflect exactly what you have in your mind. But yes, you can use images as long as you license them correctly.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up Canva and we are going to sort of create a design. I have 20 minutes, I guess. And that 20 minutes, we will use it constructively to sort of look at how a design is built, what kind of things we can use, and perhaps what kind of things we should avoid. Once again, sharing my screen. So I have a blank slate here, and I want to create a design. One thing I want to highlight to you is, let me just start from scratch again. So when you're creating a design, you need to be a little careful about the dimensions that you are going to use. Because if you create a design in a certain dimension, it's little bit complicated to change it. So for example, you create a design that is A4 size, and then so you can search for A4, and you can create a design with A4 paper size, which is 210 mm by 297, the normal A4 size paper. Or you can even, if you are from US, they like letter. And so that is also available. But you have to understand that if you were to create a design in A4 size and later on you want to post it on Instagram, you might have a problem because Instagram likes a squared shape. So whenever you're choosing a design, be careful or mindful of what dimensions you want to create a design, because if you are going to post it in multiple, let's say, social media platforms, choose one that will be sort of universally acceptable to all of them. So generally something squarish works in most, whether it's Facebook or for Instagram, something like this just works. So when we want to create a design like this, you have to first decide on your color. What color are you going for? Sometimes you want something dark, sometimes you want something light. And when we look at the Toastmaster, let me go to the Toastmaster brand manual, the new one, and go down till I reach colors. I preferred my previous manual, by the way. So these are the, I would say, the 3 main colors. And of course now black is also there, but black should generally be used with restraint, because too much black and your tone can become, sometimes it can be good, but sometimes it can become a little gloomy in my opinion. And then you have white. So these are the primary colors: true maroon, and this is the code; loyal blue, and this is the code; cool gray, black, and white. Interestingly enough, if you open the previous brand manual, you won't find black and white. So now they have specifically added black and white into the brand manual. And then this color, happy yellow, should be used primarily for accents. The word here is accent, to highlight something, to accentuate something. So then you can use happy yellow. And then we have this gradients that we can use to enhance our designs. So we can have blue gradients, we can have maroon gradients, and we can have cool gray gradients. And the last one is you can further enhance your colors by using transparencies. How do we use all of this? Let me start with the primary colors. So if I was to go back to my design and I decide I want darker colors, which means I want my background to be the blue. And so this is where the brand kit comes in the picture. I don't have to remember the color codes. If you were using the free version, you would have to type all this color code 004165. But if you're using pro version, just click on it. And that's your palette, right? I want to work with this. Or maybe you want to work with the maroon. Choose which one you want. So these are the dark versions for you. If you want to work with the light versions, it could be white or it could be gray. So that's one way of looking at it. Solid colors. You also have the option, of course, to use gradients, gradient background. How do we do that? How do we make a background gradient in Canva especially? Click on the color. And we have this here. You don't find any gradients directly in Canva. You have to click on the plus sign. And then you will get this option called gradient. And once you choose gradient, you have color 1, color 2. You can add multiple colors, by the way. And then for each of this color 1, color 2, color 3, and if you want more colors, you can keep adding. You can define. So in Toastmasters, if I want to use the blue gradient, let me go back to my color codes and scroll down till I find this gradient. So what it says is, if you want to use the blue gradient, use Loyal Blue, which is 004165 and 006094. So these are the two color codes we can use to create a blue gradient. So 4165 is a normal Loyal Blue, and then they have the new color called Blissful Blue, which is 006094. So what we do is we come back to Canva and I type the first color. In here, I type 004165. The second color, click on the second color here and type 006094. Unfortunately, one of the problems with the Canva gradient is I cannot click on the brand kit. I have to type the color code, unfortunately. Okay. So these are the two color codes. And the third one, let me delete it. So delete it, I can just press X. So now the gradient is of these two colors, and then I can choose. I don't know whether you can make out the difference. There is a dark color on the left hand side, and then it slowly goes into a slightly lighter color on the right hand side. That's called the linear gradient. But if I want, let's say, radial gradient, which is here, then the darker color is in the center and the lighter color is around the design. And all of this are allowed, by the way, in Toastmasters. You can have linear, you can have top to bottom, like this. It's very subtle. It's not too dramatic, but it does give you a slight, design edge if you use gradients. So you have solid colors or you can have gradients and you can start working on the design. The second thing is the logo. So we are talking about colors, then we talk about logo. And let's see what Toastmasters has done as far as logos are concerned. They have changed it a bit now. If you go back to my Toastmaster brand manual, go up to the brand, to the logo. Now what you have to do is, if you want a specific logo, like let's say I want this particular logo with tagline, and the tagline, by the way, is in white, which is okay. You have to click on this arrow down here, and then you have to download it from here. And then it has downloaded over here. And that's the logo. So once you download, I can say copy, right click and copy it, and then go back to my design, which is here and just press Ctrl V and your logo will come into, oh, this is a white logo. I don't need this one. I'll have to probably use the upload option so I get the transparency. So if I click on the left hand side, if I click on upload, and I'll upload the file that I just downloaded from the Toastmasters website here, color with logo, I think it will come correctly. Okay, so I have to upload it using and then drop it here and then resize it. When we talk about logo, I don't want to get into too much details, but I'll just ask you a question. Do you think this is okay? Something like this?
No, there should be sufficient space all around the logo.
All around it. So we call it in Toastmasters, they call it breathing space. And there are certain rules on how much breathing space you should have around the logo. So something like this would be okay, right?
Yes, I think.
All right. Then we talk about images. As I was discussing earlier, the images could be from your Toastmasters website. Now with the new manual, you will find them slightly in a different place. Let me show you where they are now. So if you go to the Toastmaster resources and go to the brand portal, you'll find the images here straight away, branded images. And you can download them and use them in your design. But also, I want to highlight to you something interesting there in the brand portal. They have made the trademark use request quite visible now. Before, you had to really struggle to find out how to get permission from Toastmasters for some specific things. Now, when you go to the resources, brand manual, branded images, and hit the trademark use request, and directly you can communicate through this request, where you upload your image and you click submit, and then they will alternatively, you can write to brand@toastmasters.org or trademarks@toastmasters.org. So click on submit. Doesn't seem to be functioning right now. But it will open up a form where you can enter your design and you can send a request to them directly from here. So that is about the images. And as I mentioned to you, if you have a Canva Pro account, you can directly load the images in your brand portal. And if you click on the brand here on the left-hand side, all the images are quickly accessible to you like this. So you could just, with a single click, bring the image into your design. And you're done. Alternatively, as I prefer, I like to have images of our club members, as I mentioned to you. So those I normally upload here, though I could keep them in the brand kit also, by the way, but I generally keep them in my uploads here. And these are all the photos that I take during club meetings. And something like this for me is much more attractive than the Toastmaster brand images. So most of our designs are created using images like this. Or photos of our members, if I want to focus on our members, right? So something like this is more relatable to the people within this area. And finally, coming to the fonts, I can click on the text and start adding fonts. And here I want to highlight one thing about fonts. Whenever you're creating content and you want to write something, look at your background. So if your background is dark, then try to use a light color for your font. So for example, if this is, let's say, my club name. Now I'm using a dark font color, which is black, on a dark background. So it's very difficult. The contrast is not there. Similarly, if I was to change this to maroon, you will find it is very hard to read. It hurts your eyes. So always try to maintain a contrast. So if your background is dark, go for colors like white or yellow, or to some extent even silver. Though the contrast is not as much, but it does is better than dark over dark. Similarly, if your background was light, let's say white or yellow, then use the other darker colors to write your font. And I did mention to you that I wanted to show you how we can use the AI features that are available in Canva. So if I was to type something here, let me add a text box. And I want to say, come and join us this Thursday for an opportunity to speak and learn leadership skills, for example. Something that you have in your mind, you want to type this. And by the way, this applies even whether you want to put this content on the poster, or even if you want to send out an email, you can type the content here in Canva. And let me make a copy of this to show you the difference. So this is my original text. Let me also change the color so you can read it properly. And if I was to ask Canva, can I change this text to have Toastmasters brand voice? I can click on the magic right and say apply brand voice. And let's see what it comes up with. So it has changed it, right? It has changed the content. And it depends on how well you wrote your original text within the brand voice or not. It would then change it to apply that same brand voice of that I had defined from the brand manual. And so those are some of the things that we can use: the fonts, the images, the colors, and the logo to create our brand content. I want to stop for any questions that you have. I can go on hours for hours when you talk about branding.
I was raising my hand, so if you don't mind, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you for giving us this presentation. And I have two questions. The first one is that for the trademark request, is it something that we should do prior before we do anything? Because is it a one-time form or a one-time approval? Because I understood that you can use the logo for club announcements, for area, division, and so forth. And why are they mentioning this trademark request? Is it if you have any questions with the graphic?
Yeah, yes. So I will answer the trademark request. And what is the second question?
The second question is that how come we can't follow what Toastmaster Magazine does? Okay. Toastmaster Magazine does not follow the brand, and I see a lot of inspiration and a lot of graphics, but when I try to do it, I find that the PRM in me tells me this is not brand compliant. So I just want you to give us your thoughts on that.
Both are brilliant questions, especially in this discussion, and I'll address both of them, right? So let's first talk about the brand trademark request. The trademark request exists for certain things, not for everything. So ideally, if you are creating posters and you are following the brand manual, you don't have to do anything further. So let me click on the brand manual. So let's say you're creating a brand manual, a poster for your meeting or special event, and everything that has been provided in this is exactly what you have used, right? So you have used the colors, you have used the logos, you have not strayed from any of the guidelines. You don't have to do anything further. You don't have to go to any approval process. So when do we need to go to the approval process? We need to go to the approval process when we want to do something outside of that. And when I say outside of that, let me go to the brand manual and talk about videos. Yeah. So here what it says, regardless of whether you followed everything strictly by the book, when it comes to videos, you create the video, you have used all the branded content, the same colors, the fonts, everything. But for every video, you do need to send it to brand@toastmasters. You don't have to make a trademark request. You have to just send it to this brand@toastmasters.org. So when it comes to PR content, as long as you are within the guidelines, don't bother except for videos. Then you need to send it to brand@toastmaster. So where do we use the trademark request? The trademark request would be, let's say your club wants to do, let me go back to the brand portal. Let's say your club wants to print t-shirts to give to all the club members. You don't want to buy them from the Toastmasters store, online store. You want to print it locally. That time you have to create the design and then send it to them for, and then they will approve it. Generally, they don't approve things that are already available on their store. They want you to buy from there. For example, badges and banners and certificates and pins and ribbons. But if you want to create something specific, that time you send a trademark use request and they will do it one time. Okay, so you want to print some kind of t-shirts, you have some anniversary and you want to say 100th meeting. So obviously that kind of t-shirts won't be available in the store. So you want to localize it, then you send them a trademark use request. Coming to the magazine, let's look at the magazine and let's look at their content. None of these colors are brand compliant, right? They are using here graphics, which we are not allowed to use. So the question is, why? Why can they do it and we can't? And this is a question everybody asks in every branding meeting, workshops that I have. Food, they have a picture of cake. We are not allowed to put a picture of cake. So you have very valid question. And the answer is that 99% that I was talking about. Now, the Toastmaster magazine is created by the team at Toastmasters. They look at the entire content and see the message that they are trying to convey. If you wanted to do something like that, you can. But the trick is that you first create the content and then align with them and send it to them. So for such type of cases, you have to prepare at least 2 weeks in advance because they take 1 week to respond, by the way, 4 to 5 working days. If you had a special event, if you had a special meeting and you want to publicize in a certain way and you want to use non-brand elements, but overall the message is clear that it is about communication and leadership, they will approve it. They do sometimes. Like they say, you cannot print your own certificates. But I personally, when I conduct workshops, I issue my own certificates to attendees. And I send it to them. And they're very happy. They say, wow, we are happy that you are helping others understand branding. We are happy to allow you to create your own certificate, even though generally it is not. So it is not about why the magazine. The magazine is created by them with a certain message in mind. For the clubs, they expect that we are not brand experts. We are not designers, at least 90%, right? We are Toastmasters. We are not joining Toastmasters to become design experts. We don't have a degree or in designing. So they want the message or the consistency for everybody globally. But once in a while, if you want an exception, yeah, just align with the brand team. Create your content, send it to them with your justification. I don't know what would be the pass or fail rate, but sometimes they will approve it for you. I hope I have answered both your questions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And Diana wants to ask a question.
Can I say the question for you, Dana? Okay. How I do that make my logo pattern of workplace with different color than background?
How do I make my logo pattern of workplace with? I am not sure I understood that. Can you be more specific? You can unmute and ask me. Are you a corporate club where you have your own company logo?
She writes the question, one moment.
If anybody
I'm trying to explain
interpret
how,
it and tell me, I'm
Yes.
happy to answer.
how do I make my logo pattern of workplace with different color and background, right, Dana? Okay.
So
I don't know. Is this going to be a Toastmaster logo or a club logo? It's two different points
No,
that
I
I'm
guess it
understanding in the
is
question.
her logo, not the Toastmaster logo.
okay, so obviously the thing about branding is we want to brand Toastmasters. So no other logo can come into the picture, right? It should be Toastmasters, where leaders are made, or since 1924. That are the only two messages that should go out when people see our content. Can club make their own logos? The answer is no. Can districts make their own logos? The answer is no. So the only exception is if you are a corporate club. So if you have been sponsored by a company, then what you can do is you can have your Toastmaster logo on one side of the page and the company logo on the other side, or top and bottom, whatever the case might be. If you are a corporate club, you are sponsored by the corporate club and your club is clearly designated by in Toastmasters as a corporate club, not a community club. Community club is where everyone contributes. Corporate club is usually where the company sponsors and pays for their employees. So in this case, you can use, because they are sponsoring it. That's the only exception.
Great. Are there any other questions from the audience? Helen.
Yeah, Helen.
I have just a simple question. So you talked about the positive things to have as a pro account, but what if you have a pro account and then go to a normal account? Do you still keep all your designs?
I cannot answer it because since I got pro, I have not been downgraded. For some reason, they have made it like, I don't know. I don't get any notice every year or something like that. It's expiring. It is just there.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
never mind. Thanks. It's great. Thanks.
But the only thing I can assume, by the way, is you would not lose any of the content that you have created. But then if you open your old design and it had some premium elements, like some photos that were normally pro, now it will say, if you want to print this, or if you want to output this document, you have to either upgrade, or they have this option, $1 per element or something like that, right? So you can opt for that also. And I would expect that is what they will not remove your content, but when you access it, they'll say, okay, it has premium elements. What do you want to do about it?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Dana, would you like to ask your question? No.
Well, it was a lovely evening.
Oh,
I
Cajetan,
enjoyed
Dana
my.
asks if you will share the slideshow.
Oh, those are very simple. I can just put it in the chat if you want. That's a very simple content file.
So Dana,
Can
the
I ask?
presentation will be shared in the chat. Okay.
Can I ask another question outside of the presentation? I was wondering, when you gave your talk, I noticed that you had was that PowerPoint behind you, but you weren't sharing.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
So you're basically referring to something like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a software that I use. It's called Prism Live. It is those who are into streaming and all that. We use this kind of software where we can mix a lot of things together and create content. So it is the software you might probably want to, no. There are two versions. One is called OBS Studio, which I used to use before. And now I'm using something called Prism. Let me put the link for you if you want to explore it. It's quite nice. Prism Live Studio, I think it's called. Yeah, Prism Live. It's a version of OBS Studio, but I like this much better. It's more stable and allows me to do a lot of cool stuff. So you can download it. It's completely free. Experiment with it. What it allows you to do is it allows you to take your camera, put some additional things like a PowerPoint presentation or photos, or I have something even, let's say, like a visualizer here. So now you would probably see, it's not active. So I can put a lot of content within this camera, mix it up, and that's how it works.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you all for being here today. And I would like to give a warm applause to Cajetan for his time and his presentation. Thank you a lot, Cajetan, for today's training. And I hope our attendees learn a lot about branding and how to use the new tools that AI has provided for us.
Yeah,
So
and
thank you all.
if you all want to learn the same things in PowerPoint, feel free to join my session on Sunday evening.
Yes, I have shared the link and the icon that you have prepared, so everyone knows about this session. I hope you join this session too. See you on Sunday, and I wish you all a nice weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Thanks a
Thank
million,
you.
Thanks,
Cajetan.
everyone.
You
Thanks,
spent
Elena,
so
for
much time
organizing this.
educating us.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cajetan.